Hey, how you doing? Back again. Today, I'm going to read some excerpts from the book called The UCC Connection: How to Free Yourself from Legal Tyranny. And it has a quote here from Proverbs 3:13, apparently, as it says it there. Happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding. And then we have down here, it's a quote from the Constitution. Governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, meaning the people. So this is section 15 of the book, titled Colorable Money and Colorable Courts. You've heard me use that term before. And I'm just going to read this verbatim. The word colorable means something that appears to be genuine but is not. And if you look in Black's Law Dictionary, 5th edition, it says, colorable, that which is in appearance only and not what it purports to be, hence counterfeit, feigned, or having the appearance of truth. That's what colorable means. Maybe it looks like $1, and maybe it spends like $1. But if it is not redeemable for lawful money, silver or gold, it is colorable, fiat, fake, false. Now, I haven't researched how we get around that because we can buy gold and silver now. Anyway. And colorable contracts can only be enforced under a colorable jurisdiction. Fake. So by creating Federal Reserve notes, the government had to create a colorable jurisdiction to cover the kinds of contracts that use them. We now have what is called statutory jurisdiction, which is not a genuine admiralty jurisdiction. Judges are enforcing a colorable admiralty jurisdiction because we are using colorable money. Colorable admiralty is now known as statutory jurisdiction. So let's see how we got under this statutory jurisdiction. And it goes to section 16. Uniform Commercial Code, the UCC. The government established a colorable law system to fit their colorable currency. It used to be called the law merchant or the law of redeemable instruments because it dealt with paper which was redeemable in something of substance. Gold, right? Something real. But once Federal Reserve notes had been declared unredeemable, there had to be a system of law which was completely colorable from start to finish. Right? Because it wouldn't work with law merchant or law of redeemable instruments because they can even deal with real substance. It's all fake, right? So you have to have a fake jurisdiction as well, a fake system of law. Completely colorable from start to finish. This system of law is codified as the Uniform Commercial Code, the UCC, and has been adopted in every state of the Union. This is colorable law, used in all courts of the nation. And he says, I explained one of these keys earlier, which I haven't read in this video to you, but whatever, which is that the country is bankrupt and we have no rights. If the master says jump, the slave had better jump, because the master has the right to cut his head off. As slaves, we have no rights, but the creditors, or masters, had to cover that fact so that they created the system called the UCC. This colorable jurisdiction under the UCC is the next key to understanding what happened. Section 17, contract or agreement. One difference between common law and the UCC is that in common law, contracts must be entered into knowingly, voluntarily, and intentionally. Under the UCC, this is not so. First of all, contracts are necessary, but under the UCC, agreements can be binding, and if you only exercise the benefits of an agreement, it is presumed or implied that you intend to meet the obligations associated with those benefits. If you accept a benefit offered by the government, you are obligated to follow every statute involved with that benefit. So their method is to get everybody exercising a benefit, and they don't have to tell the people what that benefit is. Some people think it's a driver's license, the marriage license, or the birth certificate. I believe it is none of these, he says. Section 18, the compelled benefit. I believe the benefit being used is that we have been given the privilege of discharging debt with limited liability instead of paying debt with substance. When we pay a debt, we give substance for substance, equal value for equal value. If I buy a quart of milk with a silver dollar, that dollar paid for the milk, and the milk paid for the dollar, substance for substance, pound for pound. But if I use a Federal Reserve note to buy the milk, I have not paid for it. There is no substance in the Federal Reserve note. It is worthless paper given in exchange for something of substantive value. Can't say it. Congress offers us this remedy in the form of a benefit. Debt money, or fake money, authorized by the federal United States, can be spent all over the continental United States. It is declared legal tender for all debts, public and private. And the limited liability is that you cannot be sued for not paying your debts when you discharge the charge using this colorable money. So they have said, we are going to help you out. You can discharge your debts instead of paying your debts. When we use this colorable money to discharge our debts, we cannot use common law courts. We can only use colorable law courts. We are under the jurisdiction of the UCC. We are using non-redeemable negotiable instruments, and we are discharging debt rather than paying debts. So here we go. Section 19, remedy and recourse. Every system of civilized law must have two characteristics, remedy and recourse. Remedy is the way to get out from under the law. Recourse is if you have been damaged under the law, you can recover your loss. The common law, the law of merchants, and even the UCC all have remedy and recourse, but for a long time we could not find it. If you go to a law library and ask to see the UCC, they will show you a shelf of books completely filled with the UCC. When you pick up one volume and start to read it, it will seem to have been intentionally written to be confusing. It took us a long time to discover where the remedy and recourse are found in the UCC. They are found right in the first volume at UCC 1-207 and 1-103. This has been changed from UCC 1-207 to UCC 1-308, just so you know. Chicken's ready. So, it is important to remember that when we go into a court, that we are in a commercial international jurisdiction. If we go into court and say, I demand my constitutional rights, the judge will most likely say, you mention the Constitution again and I'll find you in contempt of court. We don't then understand how he can do that. Hasn't he sworn to uphold the Constitution? The rule here is this. You cannot be charged under one jurisdiction and defend under another. For example, if the French government came to you and asked you where you filed your French income tax for a certain year, do you go to the French government and say, I demand my constitutional rights? No. The proper answer is, the law doesn't apply to me. I'm not a Frenchman. You must make your reservation of rights under the jurisdiction in which you are charged, not under some other jurisdiction. So in a UCC court, you must claim your reservation of rights under UCC 1-308. Section 21, this will be the last one for now. UCC 1-308 goes on to say, when a waivable right or claim is involved, the failure to make a reservation thereof causes a loss of the right and bars its assertion at a later date. That's at UCC 1-308.9. You have to make your claim known early. Further, it says, the sufficiency of the reservation means any expression indicating an intention to reserve rights is sufficient, such as without prejudice, or without prejudice UCC 1-308. And in closing for now, UCC 1-308.4 says, whenever you sign any legal paper that deals with the Federal Reserve notes in any way, under your signature right, without prejudice or without prejudice, UCC 1-308. This reserves your rights. And you can see at 1-308.4 that you have sufficiently reserved those rights. That's all I got for today, guys. This is a long book. I don't want to make this an hour-and-a-half video or whatever. Nobody will watch it anyway. But yeah, that's the UCC Connection. You know, get that book. You know, I had to read it a bunch of times, and I've been into this stuff for a while. You know, this takes some work. But it's worth it, man. It's worth it. You know, I mean, this guy's incorrect in saying that, you know, the judge can say, you know, you mentioned the Constitution again and da-da-da-da-da. Let me tell you, there's a lot of ways around that, because if he's saying that he's not, you know, sitting on a bench in a constitutional court, and he's saying he's ruling in an unconstitutional matter, that's treason, and he can be hung. So, you know, this book's, you know, it was published a while ago. Republished in 2019, but anyway, there's so much remedy out there, really, because it's just all bullshit with how they've done it. And so again, ask questions if you have any. I dare say I could probably answer it. So, hey guys, thanks again for coming by. Send it to your friends or whatever you're supposed to do to help me. I need to get 1,000 subscribers so I can, you know, get monetized and not have to go back and work and then not be able to do this extensive research every day. So yeah, love you all, man. Peace.